Hi everyone, welcome to my weekly episode of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Lauren Rabonis and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So welcome. I do a video on every Tuesday, I guess I should say, at noon, and I like to just show you guys a fun technique or a product that I'm having a lot of fun with. So for today, because of course this is celebration season, I thought we would play with one of the items from our celebration catalog. So for anyone who doesn't know about celebration, during the months of January and February this year, there are items that you can receive for free when you spend $60, or there's some in the back that you can earn for free with a $120 order. So what I wanted to do today is there is this adorable set of papers called Day at the Farm, and they coordinate with one of the bundles in our new mini catalog. So what we did here is I purchased the On the Farm stamp set with the coordinating dies, and then I earned for free the paper that we're going to use on our project today. So I would like to just give a really big shout out to Connie Stewart, because she was the one who I first came across these Slimline Fun Fold cards. They may have been done before, but Connie had lovely directions, and these were the cards that she had done in the past. So I took those measurements and we're going to use them today to make a card using the On the Farm bundle. So there's your little belly band, and then it opens up just like this for you to be able to have a little fun card, and you can write a note and it'll be completely hidden from the front of view. So something really, really fun. I'm going to keep that belly band, I think, on the side, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this project today. So what you will need to start with is a piece of cardstock. So I decided on using the grassy, or garden green, I should say, piece here, and this is a full sheet of cardstock. It measures 8.5 by 11, and you're going to need your trimmer and a scoreboard if you don't have the Stampin' Trimmer, which nicely has both the scoring tool and the trimmer on it. So let me just get organized here. Hopefully can get this out so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. Okay, so we first need to cut just a tiny bit off of your cardstock. So this cardstock, I want you to put the 11-inch side along the top of your workspace. So if you're just gonna check on that right now, move it down. Oh, that's right where my face is. Here we go. So I've got that lined up to 11 inches, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to move this paper over to the 10 1/4 inch mark. First, yes, 10 1/4, right there, okay? So that's basically cutting off 3/4 of an inch from your paper, if that helps you, if you want to work the other way. And you're gonna snip that straight off. Okay, so this one we're going to keep for our belly band later, but you're going to set it aside. Now, take your cutting tool and put it away. You do not want it right now, and I don't want to accidentally hear tears where you guys have cut things that you weren't supposed to. So put it away. You should only have your scoring blade right now, or if you feel better, just grab your scoring tool too. That's easy enough. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add some score lines to this paper, okay? And I'm actually going to move to my scoreboard just because it has the numbers on the top and I'm not covering them with the paper. So I think this will be easier for you guys to see. So I'm still working with my paper with the long side along the top. Right now, of course, it's measuring that 8 1/4 inch mark. So our first score line, we're going to put at 1 1/4. So 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 4 3/4, and 7. So I'll give you those measurements once more. 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 4 3/4, 7. So this is all the scoring we're going to do. So you can put your scoreboards away, but you will need to grab your trimmer again if you were like me and got rid of it. Okay, so here we go. You can put your cardstock aside for the moment. We don't actually need that anymore until later. What we do need to do is cut some designer series paper. And this paper is going to be what we use to decorate these panels. So it doesn't matter if you're using the page that I am, then you're going to want to kind of cut along with me. But let's say you're using something just with flowers all over it. All you need to focus on is getting a piece that measures 7 inches across the top by 8 1/4 down. Okay, but because I'm using a piece that is very directional and I want to get something that is 7 by 8 1/4, I'm going to show you exactly what I do to cut this piece apart. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, simply because I have a project in mind for this bottom section, is I'm going to chop this off. Okay, so I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to line this up to 8 1/4, 8 1/4, so that I have 8 1/4 worth of paper here, and then just that little tiny section to the right. Okay. And then, as I mentioned, I have something in mind for this whole strip as another project, so I wanted to keep that whole. Now, what you get to decide is basically you can use any parts of this. You just need 7 inches of it to work on our project. So if you want to have more grass and sheep, then you're going to cut 7 inches in this section. For me, I wanted the grain. I wanted a nice granary field. I wanted to have this windmill and the hay bales. So I'm going to go in this section here, and I'm going to, so for me, I'm going to turn this around, line it up at 7 inches, and I'm going to cut so that I have 7 inches of paper to work with here. Whoops, didn't cut that piece all the way through. Hold on, little sheep. Just lay it back down. There we go. So this guy can be used again later on for another project. So what I'm left with at this moment is a piece that is 7 inches across the top by 8 1/4 down. But I need to chop this into pieces. So here's where it gets a little bit of fun. And if you'd like, you can either do this on your own, or I can do it with you. So you need 1 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch. So let's pretend we're using this page. You guys are copying me. This right now is at the 7 inch mark, because that's how long this is. I'm going to move it over so it's at the 6 inch mark. That gives me 7 minus 1, 6. Okay? So that will cut this 1 inch strip off the side. And I can just start building my puzzle kind of to the left of my workspace here. So now I need a 2 inch section. So we're going to go 6 minus 2 equals 4. So we're lining up at the 4 inch mark and cutting. There's another section. We need another 2 inch. So we're going to go 4 inches minus 2 equals 2. This one's an easy one. Basically, you're just cutting this piece in half. We're lining up at the 2 inch mark and chopping. Here's my barn in that nice thick pane. Now I need 2 1 inch strips. So 2 minus 1 equals 1. We will line up to the 1 inch mark, cut this in half, and that will give me 2 pieces that are both 1 inch. Now you do also need one other piece, depending on whether you would like to be bold, and I forget where I saw this combination, but somebody used this Balmy blue on a card with this farm, and I thought it worked really nicely. So I'm going to use Balmy blue. If you want, you can use white, you can use vanilla, something light that you can write on, basically, is the idea. And that piece there is going to need to be 3 inches by 8 1/4. Okay, so that piece is actually going to go right on there. I've just used my last little designer paper strip to decorate it. So let me move this out of the way. And you get to start just being a puzzle master. Okay, so we've got our workspace ahead of us. And as long as you've got your larger section to the right and your 2 smaller ones to the left, you can start building. So what I like to do is I actually just like to place everything, make sure I've made all my cuts nice and that I'm happy with the layout. I haven't mixed pieces up. So I'm just going to lay these in their appropriate little spaces for the moment. Okay, and I do of course have this strip that's going to go onto that blue at the end. So let's start with that blue. He's the first one that's going to go down. I like to use my double-sided tape, but of course glue works perfectly in this situation, or if you've got that seal runner, you can go ahead and use that as well. But let's start putting these pieces into place. Rid of my garbage can. Oops. I almost dumped things all over my floor. There we go. Let's move that. Okay, this guy can fit right in this space. I should have just the tiniest of borders around the top, bottom, and sides for all of my different pieces. Okay. And this guy's going not up against the green, but right to the edge of your blue piece. Okay, so I'm just going to gently tuck that in the corner. Then it will be the same height as the blue. Just kind of takes over that whole edge. But then instead of you having to trim this smaller and, have a pain, just lay that on the side. All right. And then whatever order you want to put these on, you can. You can go left to right, right to left. We're just going to start putting these pieces in their sections. Now, usually we like to fold our cards, but just to show you how to put this one together, it was kind of a little easier to have it just laying flat, and I'll show you how to fold that at the end. Running out of tape. Oops. To get another roll. It's being too generous. I'm just gonna maybe use my glue since to make you little squiggle. Just have to be careful that I don't slip. Glue is nice because you can move things after you've laid them for a couple seconds at least. Okay, So I'll just be really gentle with that piece, because usually if I use glue, I like to give it about 30 seconds to a minute to dry, but we should be good. And we're going to start folding this. It's kind of like an accordion, so it'll be a back and forth fold. So my first fold is we're going to have this blue writing section, or white, and we're going to cover it up. And then with your bone folder, just give yourself a nice crisp fold line. Then you're going to fold backwards towards yourself. So you can see you've got a little lip in between the two layers. And then we're going to fold again like an accordion, so forward. And the last one comes backwards. So then when somebody opens this, it'll just pop open and you've got your full fun little scene right there. But we want things to kind of stay closed, so that's why we're going to make a little belly band here so that your card can stay closed. So let me show you. It'll kind of be like that. So remember that piece of cardstock that we had left over? We're going to use this for the belly band. And the easiest way to make this is I didn't do score lines for this section, and that's okay. You're just going to kind of line it over the front and then gently just bend one side around the back. You don't want to have it too tight because, of course, you do want this belly band to be able to slide on and off. So just give yourself a nice loose amount of space, and you don't even have to make the folds very strong at this moment. You're just kind of making sure that, can I move this up and down? Yes. Okay, so take this off, and where you've made those folds, you're going to just kind of make sure that they're straight and nicely pressed with your bone folders now. And then in this little section where your two ends meet, you'll need a little bit of adhesive so that those stay together. So I really like tape for this, but just do glue at the moment. Again, I won't be playing with this one yet because I like to give it a chance to dry. Okay, so there's just your strip. But to decorate it, what did I do? So I decided I wanted to play with a new set of dies that we have. These are the Something Fancy dies. And I used the smallest one in white. So here we go, smallest one in white. And then the middle in the garden green. And they nest and lay over top of each other so that I can get a really, really fun look. But before I attach them, of course, we want to do some stamping. So this is a sentiment that comes from the On the Farm. It just says, thinking happy thoughts of you. And I'm stamping at the right of my sentiment, or of my tag, in garden green. If you're using a different sentiment, then of course, gauge where you'd like it and move it accordingly. Okay, so there's garden green. Once I'm happy with how that looks, I'm going to attach these together. Just with a little bit of flat adhesive. Like so. Right. Now, in order to get this tag onto my belly band, I don't want to actually put the dimensionals on the tag because I run the risk of them touching other parts of the card. So what I prefer to do is actually just put dimensionals along my belly band here, and then I know that they will be safe and secure. So I'm just going to put like 3 or 4 dimensionals in the middle section. You don't want it to go right to the end. If you were to lay this over top, you'll notice it doesn't go right to the end. So just in the middle section, put 3 or 4 dimensionals. and your tag can go on top. Oh, now for decorating, I had maybe a little too much fun. So there's this 12 by 12 sheet from the set, and the dies actually coordinate with it. So I sat here and I chopped out tons and tons of little cows and sheep and pigs, because I'm actually going to be doing one of my make and takes for my bingo class at the end of the month with this suite as well. So here's a lone little sheep. We're going to use that U and put a couple dimensionals on the back of her. And I have part of it, the bum kind of hanging off, so I'm not going to put dimensionals all the way to the back, just around the head and the shoulders and legs. And she can just go to the side here. And then we have a bunch of little flowers that you also can cut out using one of the dies, and they're found on that same sheet of paper. So you have your pick of flowers, and you can just add one of those to the card. Just to the right of your sentiment, but of course if you're doing different sentiments, you can decorate however you'd like. And then this should be able to slide right over top the card. Here we go. And there are your two adorable little farm cards. And who knows, maybe you want to do a cow or the pigs, or you can even stamp your own and then add them too. So it's got a lot of potential in this set for some really, really fun cards. And of course, free paper is always great, because then you don't feel bad using it. Oh, good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this card. If you need anything, please just check out the supply list for this project. I've listed everything that I used so that you're able to add those to your collection if you want them. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you need a demonstrator, please don't hesitate to reach out. I can mail you catalogs. I can mail kits if you're interested in my monthly card class. And as always, tune in next Tuesday for another free video tutorial. See you guys later. Bye.